had a follow-up question to what you had said. Usually as the youth, right, we have different gifts, we have different talents, and as the youth, how do we learn how to nurture these talents and, basically get out of the bubble whereby people have set us in, where we can't even think outside of the box?
All right. I believe it's one of the important questions that we need to engage in this time, especially in this nation, in this time that we are living in. Now, importantly so, like you said before we actually close, that normally we decide to follow without really taking a lead. And that is one thing that would hinder you from getting more. To answer the question is that you have to seek more light. When we talk about light, we talk about you need to be more informed. We live in a time where information is available. There is so much information available. You should not wait. You should actually go search. Go ensure that you get some trainings, coachings, workshops, learn from this particular person, and then have a broader picture on a particular matter or on a particular topic or element or a particular component that you want to deal with. Now, you can't nurture your gifting or your talent unless you learn. Like I make an example that Jesus, as God, as the Word, had to learn, had to read. You understand? For him to know, he had to read Scripture. He had to learn Scripture. He had to grow. He had to mature. So you cannot mature without light. You must be enlightened. You must be informed and properly informed. Because other people are not properly informed. They are actually stereotyped informed. Because there is so much of information that you can actually make better. There is so much that is there. For example, people who are in an engineering sphere or engineering community, what they do, they keep developing, learning from what they have done and improving that. Are you seeing that? And they do not only do that, they compare or they compete with competitors. They compare their product. They want to see how their competitors are doing. In that way, you can actually advance that which you have. So, in the age that we are living in, people are more looking or watching televisions on their phones, looking into things that cannot edify them or that cannot grow them or develop them. And most of these people, I'll make an example, the person who comes with a particular idea, you will realize that these people who are making, the big example is games. They don't play them games. They do them so that they can keep you busy with them. So our youth is busy with these things, but they do not actually make a life for them that can turn things around, that can change the world, that can help the world. You must understand, for you to be where you are today, some people made sacrifices. Some people did not sleep when others were sleeping. This person was saying, if I sleep, I may not have an impact. Can you imagine when you die and you are buried, all we can remember you about is maybe a picture, if you have a picture in the house. Or when we pass by the cemeteries to see, oh, this is this guy, he has been living with us. But I want to tell you, it does not matter where Mandela is buried. It does not matter. Do you know why? When you pass a street, there is a street called Nelson Mandela. That man left a legacy, which only that it's not channeled or it's not overwhelmed by his grave.
Mm-hmm.
It means that man lives long after he's dead. Can you imagine when you die and you are forgotten? If I can make an example, I can ask you a question. Do you even know your father's grandfather? That person, you will find that that person is forgotten. You don't even know him. Your dad even forgot about the particular person. It's a person in your lineage. So are you going to die and be forgotten the same way? Youth must understand we must make a mark that cannot be forgotten. And let me just tell you, every person who lived with Jesus is not forgotten. The people who lived with God are not forgotten. I assure you, even other people are named by their names, so that these people are remembered. It is not only the streets, it is not only the things, but it is also, there are buildings which are named by somebody's name because of the influence and the legacy that that person left. So the mark the man made within the society, they said, we cannot forget about this person. So will you die? I'm asking you a question. You young man and you young lady. Will you die and be forgotten? If people can forget you while you are alive, what much more when you are dead? What can we do as a youth to ensure that we live to live even after we are dead? Are you hearing what I'm saying? We live to exist after we are dead, so that we are remembered, not because we had a six-pack or whatever, not because we were chamas or whatever the case is, but because we had an impact, an effect, or a good influence in somebody's life, an influence that stands. Others wrote books, and we can remember them about the books they wrote. And others came and developed that particular formula, that particular book. You can go on and on and on. So seek more light. Read, develop yourself. Keep on learning. Do not stop learning. Because as you take in, you can be able to share. But most of the people, they are not unable to take in. They just want to give out. So when you give out, you become empty. Can you imagine as a pastor, if I was not learning or reading or studying, what will I do? How will the people that I lead be taught? How will they know God? So, more light. God bless you.
Yeah, so shall we continue? So, Apostle, I had a question in my mind. What activities should parents encourage youth to be more active in? What activities should they encourage their kids to do more in order to become great leaders in the community and in church also?
All right. When we talk about activities, there are a lot of activities in place that would help the youth to grow and to develop in their journey of life. But importantly, when you, as a boy or a girl, parents should start buying learning instead of playing toys. Because the age of learning is when you are from a zero age, you even to the teenage age. When you grow, maybe from 8 years up, it reduces. It reduces. Now, the age to learn. That's why a child takes everything takes to a mouth. Everything, they taste everything. It means it's an edge to learn. You see, it is the time where children must be given more, trained more, and that is the work of a parent. When a parent takes a child to school, a parent must be sure that I already made a foundation that cannot be erased. Because when you take a child to school, a child will trust more the teacher than you. When you say something, he's not going to take it. He's going to take that which the teacher said. So you need to learn that as a parent, parents must learn that they should teach children, give them toys that where the children can learn instead of playing toys. Children can play, but then start there. And then as children begin to grow, you would realize that as they begin to grow, you start develop them with activity in the home. There are a lot of other things. For example, other kids play chess and so forth, which is one of the good sport. You see, children should do sports. Instead of trying to, I'm not against liking and favoring Messi, Ronaldo, and so forth. So we will only be favors. We would not actually be better. There were people like who came before Maradona. They talk about these people. Messi, Ronaldo, they perfected it. They went above. You understand that? Because that was made available for them to develop their talent. You see? Now, in South Africa, unfortunately, there are no places, you see, and there are no functions available for our youth to actually be developed in certain areas of sports and so forth. But nevertheless, that should not be a hindrance. Dr. Kumar was playing football, plastic ball, by foot, and he became one of the best soccer players in our country. What I'm simply saying is that our lack in the community should not hinder us to master the art of being better or better in that particular leg. You understand that? So there are lots of activities. I spoke about sports, music, there are choirs and so forth. There are many other activities that develops. But the most important thing, we need to be taught to remember our Creator in the days of our youth. Because that's where our purpose is revealed. Why would God reveal your purpose when you are 60? When you are supposed to fulfill that when you are 20? You already lost time. All God should do is to take that thing, give it to somebody else who can actually do that work. Because now you are unable now to move and run with it. Go into places with this thing that God has given you. So there are a lot of activities, a lot of places, a lot of functions that are supposed to be exposed to us. While we are at school, while we are studying, while we are doing all other things, there are those things that we can still do that will help us. Not only to try to keep us busy, but to help us to enlighten or ignite that which God has deposited into us before we were born. Now, I say before we were born. So he says he knew us before we entered the belly. So therefore, the devil does not know about that. And God kept it a mystery. There is so much about you which is a mystery that the devil does not know about. Only if you can learn that as you begin to follow the Lord, then most of these things will be revealed to you. You realize that your talent or your gift will edify, and you will still be in the will of God. There are people who have done so much great things there, but those people also hate God. And that their future, is doomed. You did great, but it was just a common great.
No, because we don't realize that. Time is of the essence, actually. Time is of the essence. As a youth, time is very essential. Because I think as youth, we always think, no, I have this much time, Basically, don't worry, man, everything will come together in the right time. But you're supposed to be the leader of your life also. And we don't realize that we are supposed to lead ourselves too. As much as we're supposed to lead other people, how are you going to lead somebody else if you don't lead yourself first? You understand? You have to lead yourself into a space or how can I put it, a mindset of a leader, right? And be able to be like, okay, no, today I'm going to lead myself to wake up, to do this, to do that, right? And that's when you will have influence to actually be able to lead other people. You understand? And we don't realize that. But let's just take a break for now, and when we come back, we'll have questions from the audience.
That's one thing.
That's not funny. You are getting it. Maybe I must